Religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of a heartless world, and the soul of soulless conditions. It is the opium of the people. Karl Marx. Explanation. Karl Marx was a German philosopher, economist, historian, and sociologist who lived from 1818 to 1883. In this quote, Karl Marx, he describes religion as a response of the oppressed, seeing it as a reflection of their suffering and a way to find solace in an otherwise harsh and unjust world. Marx argues that religion acts as a comfort for individuals who face difficult and oppressive conditions, offering them a sense of hope and meaning. By referring to it as the opium of the people, Marx suggests that religion can serve as a form of escapism or distraction, similar to the effects of opium. He implies that religion can be used by those in power to keep the masses compliant and content with their circumstances, rather than actively seeking to change the social and economic structures that perpetuate inequality. This quote is often used to highlight Marx's critique of religion and its role in society, particularly from a Marxist perspective. Religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of a heartless world, and the soul of soulless conditions. It is the opium of the people. Karl Marx. Explanation. Karl Marx was a German philosopher, economist, historian, and sociologist who lived from 1818 to 1883. In this quote, Karl Marx, he describes religion as a response of the oppressed, seeing it as a reflection of their suffering and a way to find solace in an otherwise harsh and unjust world. Marx argues that religion acts as a comfort for individuals who face difficult and oppressive conditions, offering them a sense of hope and meaning. By referring to it as the opium of the people, Marx suggests that religion can serve as a form of escapism or distraction, similar to the effects of opium. He implies that religion can be used by those in power to keep the masses compliant and content with their circumstances, rather than actively seeking to change the social and economic structures that perpetuate inequality. This quote is often used to highlight Marx's critique of religion and its role in society, particularly from a Marxist perspective.
If God has spoken, why is the world not convinced? Percy Bysshe Shelley.
Explanation. Percy Bysshe Shelley was an English poet who lived from 1792 to 1822. He was known for his romantic poetry and his advocacy for political and social reform. The quote, "If God has spoken, why is the world not convinced?" reflects Shelley's skepticism towards religious claims. It questions why, if God has truly communicated with humanity, there is still so much disagreement and disbelief regarding religious beliefs. Shelley suggests that if there were clear and convincing evidence of divine communication, the world would be united in its belief, which implies that such evidence is lacking. The quote highlights the tension between faith and reason, and challenges the notion of unquestioning acceptance of religious teachings.
I want 3 words: woman, atheist, anarchist. That's me, Madalyn Murray O'Hair.
Explanation. Madalyn Murray O'Hair was an American activist known for her role in advocating for the separation of church and state and her leadership in the American Atheists Organization. The quote, "I want 3 words: woman, atheist, anarchist. That's me," reflects O'Hair's self-identification and alignment with these 3 labels. By stating that she is a woman, atheist, and anarchist, O'Hair is expressing her identity and beliefs. She asserts her gender, her rejection of religious beliefs, atheism, and her support for a political ideology that opposes hierarchical authority, anarchism. The quote highlights O'Hair's strong and independent mindset, as well as her commitment to challenging established norms and advocating for her beliefs. This quote can be seen as a declaration of O'Hair's personal convictions, and a way for her to assert her identity in relation to these 3 important aspects of her life. Man would indeed be in a poor way if he had to be restrained by fear of punishment and hope of reward after death. Albert Einstein. Explanation. Albert Einstein was a theoretical physicist and one of the most famous scientists of the 20th century. The quote suggests that Einstein was critical of the idea that people should be motivated by fear of punishment or hope of reward after death, which are often used in religious contexts. Instead, Einstein seems to suggest that people should be motivated by a more intrinsic desire to do good or make the world a better place, rather than seeking external validation or avoiding punishment. The quote may reflect Einstein's humanist and rationalist worldview, which emphasizes the importance of reason and empathy in guiding ethical behavior, rather than religious dogma or divine commandments. Practically all the prominent leaders of thought in China today are openly agnostics and even atheists. Hu Xi. Explanation. Hu Xi, 1891–1962, was a prominent Chinese philosopher, essayist, and diplomat. Ho played a key role in the intellectual movement known as the New Culture movement in early 20th century China. This quote suggests that many influential thinkers and leaders in China at that time openly embraced agnosticism or atheism. By highlighting the prevalence of agnosticism and atheism among prominent leaders of thought, Hu Xi implies that these non-religious beliefs were gaining popularity and acceptance in Chinese intellectual circles. This may indicate a departure from traditional religious beliefs and a shift towards secularism and rationalism. The quote reflects Hu Xi's observations about the prevailing intellectual climate in China and the growing influence of agnostic and atheist perspectives. It provides insight into the changing religious and philosophical landscape in Chinese society during that period. I'm not even an atheist so much as I am an anti-theist. I not only maintain that all religions are versions of the same untruth, but I hold that the influence of churches and the effect of religious belief is positively harmful. Christopher Hitchens. Explanation. Christopher Hitchens, 1949–2011, was a British-American author, journalist, and outspoken critic of religion. In this quote, Hitchens expresses his position as an anti-theist rather than just an atheist. He goes beyond the absence of belief in gods and argues against the very notion of religion itself. Hitchens asserts that all religions, despite their differences, are essentially different versions of the same falsehood. He sees religious belief as an untruth that lacks evidence or rational justification. Furthermore, Hitchens claims that the influence of churches and the impact of religious beliefs are not only false but also actively harmful. He suggests that religious institutions and their doctrines have negative effects on individuals and society as a whole. By identifying as an anti-theist, Hitchens emphasizes his opposition to religious beliefs and institutions, viewing them as both intellectually misguided and socially detrimental. I always like a dog so long as he isn't spelled backward. Gilbert K. Chesterton. Explanation. Gilbert K. Chesterton, 1874–1936, was an English writer, philosopher, and theologian known for his wit and clever wordplay. In this quote, Chesterton playfully expresses his preference for dogs but adds a humorous twist. By stating that he likes a dog as long as it isn't spelled backward, Chesterton is making a wordplay joke. When the word dog is spelled backward, it becomes God. This twist plays on the similarity in spelling between the two words and creates a humorous contrast. The quote does not specifically address atheism or religion. Instead, it showcases Chesterton's whimsical and witty writing style. It demonstrates his ability to find humor in language and wordplay. I'm proud to be an atheist. It helps me stand for so much more and fall for so much less. Dan Barker. Explanation. Dan Barker, the author of this quote, is an American atheist activist, musician, and former Christian minister. In this quote, Barker expresses his pride in being an atheist and highlights the positive impact it has had on his life. By stating that being an atheist helps him stand for so much more and fall for so much less, Barker suggests that his lack of belief in a higher power has allowed him to embrace a broader range of ideas and perspectives. He implies that atheism has empowered him to think critically, question religious dogma, and make informed choices based on reason and evidence. The quote reflects Barker's personal experience and the sense of liberation he feels as an atheist. It signifies his rejection of religious constraints and the freedom he finds in forming his own beliefs and values. Surely you do not believe in the gods. What's your argument? Where's your proof? Aristophanes. Explanation. Aristophanes was an ancient Greek playwright who lived from around 446 BCE to 386 BCE. Known for his comedic works. In this quote, the character in one of Aristophanes' plays challenges someone's belief in the gods and asks for their argument and proof. The quote reflects a skeptical and questioning attitude towards belief in gods. By asking for an argument and proof, the character challenges the idea that belief in the gods should be taken for granted without critical examination. Aristophanes, through this quote, showcases the importance of rational inquiry and the need for evidence when it comes to beliefs about the gods. It suggests that blind faith or acceptance without justification is not sufficient. While this quote can be seen as questioning the belief in gods, it does not necessarily make a definitive statement about the existence or non-existence of gods. It highlights the need for reasoned arguments and evidence in discussions about religious beliefs.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting my channel by subscribing and hitting the notification bell for more videos. Your support means a lot to me and helps me continue creating content for you. Please leave your comments below, like the video, and share it to help spread the message. Let's keep exploring the fascinating world of atheism and skepticism together. See you next time.